All right, y'all, today we are finally flipping through the finished Fairy Tale Junk Journal. However, I just want to warn you, this is the long, very chatty, you want all the details version of the flip through. There is also a no talking version of the flip through that takes a lot less time. So if you just kind of want to see the inside and know what it looks like, the link for that video is in the description below. If you want to know all the things about all the pages, this is the video for you. Let's hang out. We have the long-awaited, finally finished, much belabored Fairy Tale Junk Journal. And it's the Fairy Tale Junk Journal because this is an altered book junk journal. It is made from the intact cover of Hans Christian Andersen, his classic fairy tales by Doubleday. And I have decoupaged the cover with some beautiful botanical napkins and this lovely image, and added this die-cut gold frame and this hand-stamped title that says My Story, which of course you could paint over and put something else there if you want, but I thought that that was appropriate for a Fairy Tale Junk Journal. All of the journals that I make for now have the same sort of closure because I really like it. It works really well for me. It looks really pretty. It looks like a tie front closure, but it's much easier to open and close. So you just slip it off the post. I love these posts. And then this is, so it's, I guess this one's not tied down here. And then it's just tied in a knot, in a bow knot here. So you can untie this and retie it if you want it tighter, or as your journal grows, if you need to tie it to make it looser so that you have more room, you can do that. So I love that. And of course, very easy to open and close. I have lined the inside covers with magazine pages, so I'll go ahead and show you both. We've got this one with this beautiful landscape decorated with washi stickers, and this lovely lady from, oh, what's her name? The book is called Women's Worlds, and the name of the artist is Mary Ellen Best. So this is from a book of art by Mary Ellen Best. And then this is the original pocket that was in this book that I removed from the book, replaced the end paper or the, the liner, and then put it back in the book. And then I made this journal card out of a tarot card from, I forget what this one's called. It's the Dream something tarot, I don't know. So it's the Two of Cups from that one. And I've just backed it with some parchment looking paper so you can journal on that. And this is all empty for you to fill out as well. And then I'll go ahead and flip to the back liner so you can see. So we've got, let me tilt that so you don't see the glare so much. So we've got this very, I think it was some fashion ad in Vogue, but it looked very like fairy fae court to me. So I thought it was very fairy tale appropriate. And the magazine page was a little damaged, so we just used some gold splatter to flash it up a bit, or zhuzh it up a bit. And then I've added this lovely pocket here with the fairy and this tag here, which also has some gold splatter on the back, just for fun. A dream is a wish your heart makes. And then this, we'll get to this, but this is the original jacket that was on the book. So we'll get to that in the rest of the flip through. That is part of the book. So there are only 2 signatures because, and you can see here, this is just some bookbinding tape that I used to reinforce the spine liner that I sewed the signatures to. There are only 2 signatures. They are pretty hefty signatures, but I was really limited by the size of the existing spine, which is not that much. And the existing spine is just so beautiful. I really didn't want to replace it. That's the only place on the actual cover where it has the title of the fairy tale book, and it's in beautiful gold lettering, so I really did not want to get rid of that. So we were a little limited in size, but I think we filled it out nicely, all things considered. And then I'm going to try and go a little faster, but no promises. So we've got this crown pocket with this bit of coffee dyed lace patterned, very subtly lace patterned paper. And this is like a flocked scrapbook paper tag. And this was originally a library book discard, so it's still got a lot of the library stuff on it as well. And then we have, let me just make sure I'm still in frame. Okay, yeah, we're doing really well on the frame thing. Okay, and so then here we've got another beautiful pocket page, which has in it, so we've got some writing space at the top. We've got a Once Upon a Time journal card, just made of some lovely scrapbook paper. And then we've got a tag that I made from my Pre-Raphaelite art book. This is part of the story of Pygmalion. I forget who the artist is. And then we've got these lovely little forget-me-not stationery. I just love this. And this actually unfolds into quite a bit of journal space if you want to use all of that. And I just thought that this was so pretty, I wanted it to show, so I've only tucked the back half of the card into the envelope. And of course you could move that around, remove it, do whatever you want. A lot of the pages in this book, including, this title page, are original pages from this book. So I took the book apart, I added some new stuff in, I took a lot of stuff out, and I kept some of my absolute favorite pages in here. So some of the really best illustrations and bits of stories I thought are in this book. And so this is from Inchelina, or you may know her as Thumbelina. And we've got a little floral pocket here that I think blends in very nicely. And I've just tucked in this tag. This is actually from when I made some vanilla peach preserves last year. But the stamping where I stamped that really faded because I don't know what I used. So there's a little tag you can write on. And then I just tucked this little fairy sticker in here. It seemed appropriate. And then, so you can see there's the title of the story, Inchelina. I've got this, this is a magazine cutout, but it's backed with, I think, paper from it's like cardstock from a different book. And then it holds this lovely journal card with this beautiful botanical illustration backed with pink parchment paper. And I wanted to keep like little bits of the fairy tales where you could still read them. Obviously you can cover them up if you want to, but I think it's really fun to go through and read the little bits of fairy tale. We've got some map scrapbook paper with a lace edge, and then I covered the white back with this beautiful magazine image that I just really love the architecture of this room. And then we have a page from The Little Mermaid. So we've got a shaker card that I made here with some glitter in it. It says, "She dreamed beautiful dreams." Who? Me? And we've got a fairy, and it's backed like that. And then we've got this castle card, just inked around the edges, or a tag that says, "This world is but a single dewdrop set trembling upon a stem, and yet, and yet." Beautiful haiku by Issa. And then, because it's The Little Mermaid, we have a little mermaid. This is glued to the page, but she's sticking out behind this water pocket. And I had to make you a Little Mermaid. So I made this Little Mermaid doll, and this is my favorite part. This might be my favorite part of the whole journal. She moves. She just wags her tail. Do mermaids wag their tails? Is that the phrase that you use? Anyhow, but yeah, her fin is vellum with glitter, so you can kind of see the text through it a little bit. And it's just hinged on a brad underneath this portion of tail. But it makes me so happy just to flip to this page and turn the tail. Okay. And then we've got, this page is covered with this, I've used this like throughout the book. It's a blue tissue paper with like silver glitter suspended in it, and it just felt like water and fairy dust and fairy tales to me. So I've used it to cover a couple places. This one was just a blank white page, so it's covering that. And then we've got this green fairy tip out here, or flip out, whatever you want to call it, Got a Wildest Dreams pocket here with this beautiful botanical in the background. Oh, that's right. Okay, so this white paper actually is, you can see this little blue text here. This is part of there was like a library protective wrapping. So there was the blue hardcover book that this book is in, the hardcover, was wrapped with this white paper and then had the jacket on it and then was wrapped with a clear library protective wrapping. So the white layer I did include, and the text that was stamped on it I kept, but I tried to cover most of the other white. But you could still do a little bit of writing around here. And then we've got a journal card here from a botanical watercolor book and a tag of some lovely inked scrapbook paper. Come on, there you go. For you to write your wildest dreams on. And then here we've got, this is from like a coloring book of Bruges, this page that I have and love. It's pretty like cardstocky paper. And I just really love the font and I really love the illustrations, and it felt very fairy tale to me. So we've got that, but I wanted to give you some writing space. So there's some pink parchment paper and there's a little flip out here with this beautiful Thomas Kincaid illustration that I pulled out of a Thomas Kincaid book that I thrifted recently. Okay, and then this page is fun. We've got a couple layers of writing space. So there's the rose photo, which you can write on the back of. I don't know if you can see that. And then there's this rose stationery that you can write on the front and the back of. And then we've got the header for the Tinderbox fairy tale. And then I just covered part of the text so that you could write there. And then this little lace tab here is hand sewn on with ivory embroidery thread. You can barely see it on this side. You can see it a little better on this side where I've sewn through the washi tape. I just think just a little bit of hand stitching just really elevates the whole thing, and you can't complain about lace, right? So we've got the Nightingale. Surprise or no surprise, the Nightingale is my absolute favorite story in this book. I have left a lot of it intact. I've left my favorite part of it intact, which is the end. So you've got the illustration here as a pocket with a beautiful journal card in it, and this was from the Nightingale. Blessed God, how beautifully it sings. Writing space on the back on the pink parchment. Everything in the Emperor's garden was most cunningly arranged. And then we've got this little lace flip up. And of course you could add whatever you want to change that however you want. And then this is the list of illustrations that was originally, I think, at the front of the book with the table of contents. You could cover this with stuff for writing space, or absolutely you could cover it with whatever you want, but I wanted it to be there and intact for you to appreciate as a part of the original book when you get this. So up to you what you do with it. I am not attached to anything that I've done in this book. You can cover it all up. You can burn the whole thing. I mean, probably don't do that, but I'm not going to be too terribly offended, whatever you do. Once it's yours, and you do what you want with it. This is just how I wanted to send it to you. So this is the list of illustrations, and then we've got a Mary Cicely Barker, or Cicely Mary Barker? Mary Cicely Barker? Does it say? Cicely Mary Barker. Gotta get that straight. Anyhow, we've got the Mallow Fairy with some writing space on the back. This is one of my favorite spreads, and this is one of the earliest spreads that I did. So this is on a page of the Nightingale, which you could read a little bit of back there. And then we have this little waterfall of writing space that I just think is really fun. So plenty of writing space there. And then we've got this pocket here that holds this absolutely fabulous. I was so intent on sticking this postcard in this journal, and it took me forever to figure out the right place to stick it. And I finally just decided to put it here, but you can put it wherever you want. We've got another piece of the rose stationery. I just think this is from a collection of mushroom postcards. This was the most fairy tale of them all, though. And I was like, even though I absolutely love and adore this postcard, and would love to keep it for myself, it belongs in this journal. So I found a place for it. And here we go. This is what the page looks like without the stuff in it. And then we just pop the stuff right back in there. We've got a little butterfly up on the page corner as well, which acts kind of like a tab. And then we've got more of the nightingale. So here we go. This is like the beginning of the end of the story. The emperor was not dead yet. And so I wanted to keep this part intact so you could kind of start reading from here and you'll see where it goes. But we've got some writing space here. This actually is only attached by the middle, so it can flap its wings with a little bit of help. And then we've got this illustration from the nightingale with this text, "Even the fisherman would stop to rest when he heard the nightingale." And of course, that you could work on all this space as well. Okay, so this is a little out of order here. This is page 22. This is page 26. So don't worry about this. This is the middle. But I liked the two lines at the top and bottom. "I want to hear the nightingale, and that tonight. Little nightingale," called the kitchen maid, "our emperor wants you to sing for him." Anyhow, okay, and then we've got some origami paper, beautifully patterned. This is from the Smithsonian, I believe. And it was like a set of origami paper, all printed with like actual antique embroidered Japanese kimono silks and textiles. And so it's just really cool. And it's got birds, so I thought it was appropriate. And then we've got more pink parchment for writing space, more of that Bruges coloring book. And then we've got on this side, I made a pocket out of this card, 5 of Wands from the Star Spinner's Tarot, which has a little fairy on it, and stuck in this green mushroom postcard as some writing space for you. I just love that. Okay, and then this is the other piece, or the other end of the piece of that library protective paper layer. But it was like, I wanted to keep it in because it's like part of the original book, but it was also like thin, low quality paper. So I didn't want to leave it in just like that. I really wanted to reinforce it. So I've reinforced it on this side with a ton of collage. We've got more of that origami paper, some scrapbook paper, some memo paper, some text, some avocado dyed paper. Oh my God, I said in the process videos for this that I could not for the life of me remember what this paper was dyed with, and I thought maybe it was passion tea, but I finally remembered. I saw like somebody else's pictures of avocado dyed paper, and some of them were a little orange, and I was like, that's it. So this is definitely avocado dyed paper is what that pink is. Gosh, okay. So, and then we've got this pocket with this lovely edging here. Just a little journal card from some scrapbook paper. And then we've got this shaker jar tag that I made that I'm absolutely in love with, but I can't keep everything I make. And it's got a fairy, and the fairy is stuck down, but the butterfly flies around when you shake it. So I think it's really fun, and it makes me really happy. And you could write on the back of it if you wanted, and I'm choosing to part with it, even though I love it, because I love you. And I want you to have nice things. Okay, yeah, and then I collaged around the edges of the backside to reinforce it, and then I figured the middle was pretty reinforced with this envelope. This is a beautiful little watercolor flower I painted. And then in this envelope, I've just got a piece of parchment print letter paper, so you can write on that, or you can stick whatever else you want in here. I've got more avocado paper on this illustration of Inchalina. And then we've got, I love this page because this magazine page, I don't know if you remember the other half of it. Let's go find it. So it is pretty much one picture all the way across. Like this was the center of the magazine right here, and then there was like article over here. But I wanted the whole picture because I like the whole room. I love the floors, I love the trim, I love all of the plaster details. And I mean, the horse, the shell, it's all great, and it feels very fairy tale to me. But this little plaster swag here just perfectly matches this little Tim Holtz swag. So I was like, I have to make these work together. I have to find a way to put these on the same page. It will make me so happy. So that's what I did. We've got a big chunk of Inchalina here that you can read and then work on if you don't want to read it anymore. I've got this beautiful scrap of paper tag with this beautiful Tim Holtz ephemera swag on it. And the pocket is scrapbook paper with some sheet music and a little die cut embossed frame I made around one of my favorite pieces of ephemera that I've ever thrifted. I only have 4 castles that I thrifted that day, and you got one of them, and one of them is in a frame in my house, and the other 2 are in my personal junk journal, not like glued down or anything, just like waiting for their perfect moment. But this one was the only one that would fit in this little frame, and I thought it was just perfect here. So that goes there. You can write whatever you want here. And then this is, so on the spine, as like a genre tag for the library, it had this little sticker that said fairy tales with this little castle and this princess in the castle, and I just thought it was really great, and had to be included as a tab somewhere. So this is where we put it. It's on this piece of cardstock that I think this is like a business card that comes with your order from May Designs when you order notebooks from them, and they shipped me a bunch of them with one of my orders once, so I have a bunch of them, and I finally used one of them here. It's such pretty marbled paper. I love it. And then we've got the other half of that map page. Okay, so the original end papers, and you'll see them used throughout parts of the rest of this book as well, was this blue paper. So originally it was this light blue end paper, and you can see we've got a little bit of the original spine binding here, little mushroom tag. This is a page from The Little Mermaid, so I put down a La Sirena Loteria sticker here. It's more avocado dyed staff paper with some mushrooms. We've got a little tab here with a rhinestone. And then this journal card that I made from the backing of a Snow White themed enamel pin set. It says, "Spring Dawn," this is a haiku by Kake. "Up comes the bucket from the well of gloom, and in it floats a pink camellia bloom." I love it. We got a little glitter fairy up in the corner. And then this is the back for you to write on. I just think this is so whimsical and fun and fairy tale, and I love it. This is like I would keep this, but I just feel like it's meant for someone else. We've got some napkin decoupage here, one of my favorite napkins. And then this just flips up a little bit for whatever reason. And we've got the first page of The Princess and the Pea. Again, like you could totally, absolutely cover this up and work on it, but I just wanted to leave the beginning of the story for you to appreciate as it is for now. And then we've got this beautiful illustration from The Princess and the Pea that I just love so much. And that's the end of the first signature. So these are some, like I said, these are some pretty chunky signatures, even though there are only 2 of them. We had limited space to work with. And if you don't mind a serious gator mouth, which I don't mind a serious gator mouth, but I just wanted to leave room for it to grow. So it's already a little bit of a gator mouth. But I wanted, I didn't want to go so far because I wanted it to be where if you wanted to add a bunch of stuff, where it gets like this, you can do that. And, if you want to do tip-ins and stuff, especially in the middle here, there's absolutely room for that. So it just depends how chunky you like your journals and what you want to do. So this is the original jacket, which I originally wasn't going to include just because it's glossy, and I know many other junk journalers have such mixed feelings about glossy papers, but it's beautiful and it's part of the book, and I couldn't separate them. I just couldn't bring myself to separate them. So here you go, and I used the flaps as pockets. So we've got this pocket here on this lovely landscape with this queen and this walking couple. I thought that maybe it was like the queen was like watching over, or chaperoning or spying on the prince and princess. I don't know. That's just my narrative that I've created. You can make up your own fairy tale. And it looks kind of like a castle in the background. I'm pretty sure this is somewhere in California. We've got a palm tree. This is probably out of a Vogue magazine, but it's looks fairy tale enough to me. And then this little like envelope, I guess it's an envelope that I made a long time ago. Just the washi tape on it just like so perfectly matched her dress that I couldn't not put these together. So that lives there now. And then the queen is a little tuck spot herself. So we've got this tag here that goes right in there and makes me very happy. And then again, like I wanted to leave little bits of the text so that you could appreciate like what this was originally, but cover up a lot of it with beautiful landscape. And then we've got, this must be from the Wild Swans, this illustration. And there's an envelope flip out on the other side, but the top of the envelope flip out is a tuck spot here. So this part is open. It's glued down here and here. And open here. So I've just stuck some washi stickers in there that you can use or leave there, or do whatever you want with, up to you. And then on this side, yes, it is the Wild Swans. So I've covered up the Wild Swans with a picture of some wild swans from a Reader's Digest book that you are free to write on. I thought there was plenty of writing space on there. And then this envelope obviously could also be writing space and flips out. And we've got some writing space inside. So this cute little bow paper clip. And then this was another swan photo from that same Reader's Digest that I've backed. So we got writing space there. And then this, I believe, is just a full sheet of pink parchment for you to write on. So got that all together. Let's put it back together now. There we go. Okay, very cute. And we've got this illustration from The Little Mermaid, which I thought was really cool. So we just left that the way it is. And then this page from The Little Mermaid, again, this was another thing where like I kind of wanted you to be able to decide like if you wanted to keep this text or cover it up. At least I wanted you to be able to appreciate it before it got covered up. So it's there intact. I've made a pocket from part of the cover of a mermaid coloring book, which I believe this is from. So Messages from the Mermaids. I think it's the Doreen Virtue coloring book. So we've got a mermaid coloring page in there for you to do with as you will. And then this page I really love. So we've got a pocket made from a Katie Daisy card. We've got a landscape from one of the Young Living farms with this lovely tab cut out from one of the scraps from when I was building my gallery wall in my dining room. A little pink rhinestone on it. This is where the cow parsley skirts the hawthorn hedge. And this is from the Wild Swans. The text that I kept was just, "May I dream how I can break the spell." And I think it's like that the Wicked Queen cast, she said fervently. But I just liked, "May I dream how I can break the spell." I wanted that to stay. And then we've got words like fairy and flying and stuff just staying there. So I don't know, you can cover it if you want, but I just liked that little bit of text there. And then this is the other half of the Made Designs paper that I used for that tab. So I just wanted to toss that in for you. Pretty little memo with some birds, a gold-tipped feather, and a folded sheet of writing paper. So just some little treasures for you to enjoy tucked away on this page. And I just love Katie Daisy's illustrations. This is from the How to Be a Wildflower deck, which I have gone through quite quickly and will probably need to get another copy of because I just love it so much. And I love using it in journals so much. Okay, here we go. We got another pocket here. It's True Love's Kiss. I think the tab really coordinates really nicely with that. And then this journal card with this beautiful rose botanical illustration backed with avocado dyed paper. This is taking forever, but I just really want you to appreciate all of the beauty in here. And then this coloring page that I just kind of cut out the image so it would be a fun shape, and you can color it or you can write on it and do whatever you want with it. A little illustration from the Ugly Duckling. Really cute. It's a really cute duckling. I don't know why they called him the Ugly Duckling. He's adorable. And then I threw in an extra duckling for you. And then of course we all know, ow. Beware of paper cuts. I did not get a paper cut. I just got stabbed by the tab. Beware of tab stabs. We all know that the Ugly Duckling becomes a swan, so I wanted to throw in this swan card. This is kind of a religious card that I thrifted, but if that's not your thing, you can always cover over it. It's not really my thing personally, but I still think it's really pretty, and it has swans on it, so it goes here. Or you can give it away if you hate it that much. But probably you'll like it because it's beautiful. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, and then this was a magazine page that, again, like, I'm always a little wary of putting magazine pages in because I know they're not super substantial paper. So I didn't back the whole thing, though, because I really liked the imagery here. We've got the sword and sorcery and the beautiful forest background, and then she just felt very princessy to me, so it's totally, there's nothing added on this end, but just to stiffen it a little, especially where you'll be handling it, I just added some additional layers of magazine imagery in the corner and around here, and then just some other paper embellishments down here. So the corners are reinforced with an extra layer of paper. And we've got another glitter fairy sticker that I fussy cut. I just really love this page. It makes me happy. Okay. And then, of course, like, I think the princess looking bride girl is very fun and fairy tale, but you can do whatever you want with this page. And then we've got a touch of magic flip out here with the table of contents and some beautiful glitter washi tape. Okay, now here we are, page 27. This is the best part of the Nightingale, okay? So from that chunk that was on page 26 earlier in the book, through to the end of Nightingale, I've left it intact because it's just the best part and it makes me cry every time I read it. I read it in one of the makings of this journal. You can pause and screenshot and read it. I'm not going to read it right now because I will cry. That is a promise, not a threat. Okay. We have this beautiful, beautiful landscape that just looks like a castle, probably from Vogue as well. I used to get Vogue. I got like a deal on like a really cheap Vogue subscription at one point, and I was like, I like cutting out magazine images for collage and vision boards and stuff. I'll get that. And then, like, after it was super cheap, I stopped subscribing. But I got like a year or so of Vogue really cheap to turn into things like this. There we go. I love this spread so much. It was very difficult for me to give up this envelope, but it's a very big envelope. It's too big for most of my junk journals, and it's the perfect size for this junk journal. And it's so fairy tale. How could I not? So I sacrificed it for you because I love you and I want you to have nice things and because it fits perfectly here. So we've got the envelope that flips out, and then I covered up my address, my old address, I don't even live there anymore, with pink parchment paper and some beautiful Tim Holtz embellishments. These are the original stamps that were on the envelope from Canada, and it actually looks like, okay, it looks like a lighthouse and some landscapes, but you can pretend it's a castle because it kind of looks like a castle if you look at it from like 2 or 3 feet away. And then inside the envelope, we've got just a beautiful piece of mossy green cardstock for you to do whatever you want on. And I like the way that it peeks out. I like the way that it peeks out so you can just see that bit of green coming out from behind the torn brown paper. And then here we have the very end of the Nightingale, which I, again, couldn't bring myself to cover it up. If you have to cover it up, that's fine. We're not the same sort of person if that's the case, but that's okay. Anyhow, so here is the other half of that magazine page. This one is super reinforced. So we've got this bird. I don't think I have any stickers anywhere of actual nightingales, but I just figured, I'm just hoping that none of you know what a nightingale looks like, and that we can just pretend that all of the songbirds in this book, or all of the birds in this book, are equally worthy of nightingaledom as far as the fairy tale is concerned. And then we've got another haiku here that actually mentions a nightingale. It's called Slight Interruption. Oh gosh, by an anonymous prisoner condemned to death. Ah, nightingale, with half your song expressed, I leave for the next world to hear the rest. God damn. It's little pieces like this that make me be like, oh, maybe I need to keep this journal. But I'm just like, it's not for me. I have enjoyed its beauty. This is for you now. Okay, I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna read, no, it's still for sale, but I'm gonna read you the end of the Nightingale story. I'm just gonna wait till the end of the video to do it so that if and when I cry, it's at the end of the video. And I decided that I'm going to do it because I want to be able to come back to this video and listen to the end of the Nightingale story because I'm giving up this translation. I won't have it anymore. And then this is the back of that magazine page. You can see some of the original green showing through, but I've reinforced it with a couple bits of collage. We've got another haiku, Unfathomed. Without a sound, the white camellia fell to sound the darkness of the deep stone well, by Buisson. And this is, by the way, all of these haikus are from a book that I'm like, I mean, I've already I started tearing it up long before I realized, like when I was like 12, long before I realized just how good it was. It's called A Net of Fireflies. And it looks like this. Translated by Harold Stewart. And it's just one of the best, it's maybe the best book of haiku that I've ever come across. The translations are all beautiful. They rhyme, which is not necessarily traditional. And they, once in English, they don't follow what we're taught in school is like the perfect haiku structure. But they just perfectly embody the spirit of haiku. And then there's a bunch of background info about it. And it's arranged by season with like illustrations to go with them. So this is a book that like I might have to buy again and not cut up. I might have to buy 2 more, 1 more to cut up again and 1 more to just have in my library forever. Cause I love it so much. Every time I go through it, it's a pleasure and a joy. And just like parting with the few haiku that I've put in this book is like, wow, it hurts a little bit. So I hope that you really appreciate them. And then we've got this pocket. This was like packaging for some stickers that I got. I put all great things have small beginnings. But then the original packaging said secret flower language. And it's just got this beautiful frame on this open window. And it's open on the sides. So you can just slip stuff in and out. And we've got this girl in here. Or also, which this is a piece of scrapbook paper that looks like, I don't know, like a handkerchief or something. So I've just inked it and folded it and tucked it in here. And then it also opens like this. And this is another Mary Ellen Best painting. Okay. And then I really love this page. So I'll just take everything out. We've got a belly band that says Bewitching. And then I've collaged some, just some ephemera and some tissue paper on here. And then we've got this envelope that I made from scrapbook paper. And this envelope liner I also made. This was, it was like the day I got my typewriter and I was just having fun typing some random words on the paper. And then I stenciled it with one of my ink sprays. We've got a little butterfly hiding in there. And then I got my envelope liner die cuts and I had to mess with that too. So this just ended up being really beautiful. I had like forgotten about what all I had done to this particular envelope. And I just pulled it out because the green from my envelope stash, because the green paper like matched this page really well. And then when I opened it and I saw the liner, I was like, oh yeah, this has to go in this book on this page. It says words or spells, joy, beauty. I'm using my fraction buttons, Facite Magiam Quotidie, which is make magic every day. And a line from Mythopoeia by J.R.R. Tolkien, which is, I bow not yet before the iron crown, nor cast my own small golden scepter down. And we've got this avocado dyed fairy messages from the fairies coloring page, which you are free to do with as you will. just wanted to have something tucked in there for you. And we've got that little mushroom label on there. So we've got that. And then this was in here before, and I almost took it out because it's like kind of personal. But then I was like, you know, someone might appreciate this, and it is kind of fairy tale appropriate. So instead, I just signed it. And this is the typewritten lyrics to my song, "Next time I come around, I think I'd like to be a clover. And then when that life is over, I think I could be a human again." So that song is called "Next Time I Come Around." It's off my album Wildflowers, and you can go listen to it if you like it. But you've got the lyrics to it off my typewriter and signed. And then the Five of Wands from the Mystic Fairy Tarot. This is from the new borderless edition, which I really love. I just love the mushrooms. Makes me happy. Okay, and we turn this page. This is a full page pocket, and it's kind of a little bit difficult to get into, which makes it a perfect hiding place for secrets. Every time I would go through this while I was making it, I'd be like, oh, what's in this pocket? Oh, secrets, because I just had this in here. And it kind of can get lost in there if it's just this one. So that's why I tucked it in between this botanical dyed paper that I made with, we've got definitely rose petals. I want to say this was like the center, the blue is like the center of a sunflower, I think, but it might have been something else. I really don't remember what all I did, but this was from botanical and tea dyed boiled book style papers that I made. So we've got this little secrets journal card. I think it's backed. I don't think it was originally this thick. It's very thick now, so I think it's backed with cardstock probably. So that's a little journal card for you, tucked away in this very secret Once Upon a Time pocket. I'll just tuck that in pretty far. There we go. And we've got the other half of this coloring page, and then we've got another one of these envelope tuck spots. So it's an envelope tip out on the other side, but on this side it's just glued down here and here. So this is open, and I've just tucked a bunch of ephemera and stickers in here for you to use however you want. We've got this illustration from The Little Mermaid, and this is one of my proudest moments in this whole book. So this is another beautiful die cut and embossed frame, but I couldn't fully decide what to put in it, and I thought maybe you might want to decide what to put in it. So there's this piece of coffee dyed paper right now, but I'll tell you a little secret, it slips right out. So this frame is glued down from about here to here, and then you can either stamp on this or write on it or draw on it and keep this piece of paper here, or you can use this as a template to cut out like a photo or an illustration or something else that you want to put in there. So I just think that is so fun. And it's one of my proudest moments in this book. So that and the mermaid probably. With her wagging tail. So this is another envelope that I made out of some mermaid scrapbook paper. And then inside that, we've just got a half sheet of cotton rag folded in half. And then this, we've got that glitter tissue paper again, which I thought was cool because it's the way that it's decoupaged on here, like you can read the text through. So you can read this little bit of the story if you want to, but it's also mutes the text enough that if you wanted to like grab like a heavy bold pen, like a Sharpie or something, and journal on top of it in like a little bigger writing or whatever, I feel like you could totally do that and it would be legible. Like I feel like you could work on this page the way that it is without losing the text, but up to you what you do with it. And then this page I think was just blank white, so I just covered it with this scaly, mermaidy, snaky scrapbook paper. And then just so that it would be easier to write on if you want to, I washi taped down this piece of vellum. So you can write right on that, or you can do whatever you want. And just for the record, all of the washi tape in this book is glued down. I don't trust washi tape. So if I'm washi taping something and I want it to be secure, like I'm washi taping a tip in or whatever. Not, this one isn't washi taped, but there's a bunch of things in this book that are washi taped in a way that it's important for them to stay. All of them are also glued down, reinforced with my art glitter glue. So you don't have to worry about that. This, I was hoarding this National Geographic image for the longest time. This is a beautiful photograph of Neuschwanstein with a little full page pocket here. And I couldn't bring myself to cover this up with anything. So you get vellum paper in this pocket. So again, like you can write on it. It'll be totally, you know, do whatever you want. But I wanted it to be, when I send it to you, that you can fully appreciate this image, even with the paper there. Okay, and then we've got a big belly band here with a hand-painted watercolor mushroom that I did. We've got, and then just an avocado dyed piece of paper with a cool little mushroom sticker on it. And then we've got another Little Mermaid page with more of the glitter tissue paper. This beautiful little pocket. This tag that I really love. And then this was, somebody sent me a couple of these, so I figured, even if I didn't know where to put it in here, I figured I would send it to you. So this is a book plate of the Little Mermaid statue in Copenhagen. I believe it's in Copenhagen. I hope I'm not making that up. Ex Libris from the Library of. So you can put your name on there. You can put it inside a different book. You can find a place to do it in here. You can do whatever you want with it. It feels, I haven't actually used one of these this way. It feels a little bit sticky on the back. Like it feels like a lick and stick kind of thing. Or like a wet and stick. I don't guarantee that it is that, but that's what it feels like to me. I would try like spraying it or brushing it with water or licking it or whatever before. I never want to lick these things. They always taste so horrible. But I would try just like wetting it and sticking it down before you tried anything else. But also, you know, a little glue stick never hurt anyone. But yeah, I just thought that was really fun. So I tucked it there. This, another one of my pride and joys of this book. And we have come now to just about the end. So this is the other half of the jacket. And this one, because the jacket was bigger than the book, this one, and because it like was meant to accommodate like the whole spine, so it came out, even with the flaps folded in, it was like too big. So this one I folded over extra. And so you can see just a little bit here, the edge of the, like this picture from here continuing over to this side. The interesting parts I kept. The parts that were just sky or land, I covered. So we've got this beautiful belly dancer here saying, "Listen to your heart, it will show you the way." And we've got a lamppost that just feels a little Narnia to me, even though it's surrounded by palm trees and clearly in Southern California. And then we've got some of these Tim Holtz flower ephemera and some die cut fairies that I just really, really love. And these fairy die cuts, this blue paper is from the original end papers. And then I added some fairy dust glitter around the edge. So then we've got more of that castle there. And then you can see this fairy is kind of tucked around with her leg hooked around the paper. And I just wanted her to peek out of there. So that all feels very magical and fantastical to me, and it makes me very happy, and I hope that it makes you happy too. And then we have here the third die cut fairy from the original end paper. I don't think there was text here. I think it was just blue sky space, but because it's so glossy, it would have been really hard to write on, so I added the pink parchment as writing space. And then we've got some gold splatter here. You've already seen this. But I also really liked how the blue fairy silhouette and the pink fairy silhouette just kind of like maybe mirror each other isn't the right word, but evoke each other. I don't know. I like how they play together on the page. That's all I got. So that's it, folks. That's it. I guess I should count and see. You've now seen all the pages, but how many are there actually? I don't know. Let's find out. 7, 8. Okay, so we've got 8 and 8, which makes 4. So 8 and 8 folios in each signature, so 16 folios total, which makes for 32 sheets or 64 pages front and back. So we have a 64 page, pretty chonky, already slightly gator mouth fairy tale junk journal ready for your story. And it makes me very happy to hold it and look at it and enjoy it and to have made it, but it will also make me very happy to send it off to you. So this is currently listed in my Emporium on my website. I don't have an Etsy. I don't use Etsy for selling, but I do sell some of my handmade items and my readings on vervainandtheroses.com. So my website and the link to this specific product in my Emporium will be in the description below. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again soon in my next video. Bye, guys. But the emperor was not dead yet. Pale and motionless, he lay in his great golden bed. The long velvet curtains were drawn, and the golden tassels moved slowly in the wind, for one of the windows was open. The moon shone down upon the emperor, and its light was reflected in the diamonds of the mechanical bird. The emperor could hardly breathe. He felt as though someone were sitting on his chest. He opened his eyes. Death was sitting there. He was wearing the emperor's golden crown and held his gold saber in one hand and his imperial banner in the other. From the folds of the curtain that hung around his bed, strange faces looked down at the emperor. Some of them were frighteningly ugly, and others mild and kind. They were the evil and good deeds that the emperor had done. Now, while death was sitting on his heart, they were looking down at him. "Do you remember?" whispered first one and then another, and they told him things that made the cold sweat of fear appear on his forehead. "No, no, I don't remember. It is not true," shouted the emperor. "Music, music, play the great Chinese gong," he begged, "so that I will not be able to hear what they are saying." But the faces kept talking, and Death, like a real Chinese, nodded his head to every word that was said. "Little golden nightingale, sing," demanded the emperor. "I have given you gold and precious jewels, and with my own hands have I hung my golden slipper around your neck. Sing, please, sing." But the mechanical nightingale stood as still as ever, for there was no one to wind it up, and then it couldn't sing. Death kept staring at the emperor out of the empty sockets in his skull, and the palace was still, so terrifyingly still. All at once, the most beautiful song broke the silence. It was the nightingale, who had heard of the emperor's illness and torment. He sat on a branch outside his window and sang to bring him comfort and hope. As he sang, the faces in the folds of the curtains faded, and the blood pulsed with greater force through the emperor's weak body. Death himself listened and said, "Please, little nightingale, sing on." "Will you give me the golden saber? Will you give me the imperial banner? Will you give me the golden crown?" Death gave each of his trophies for a song, and then the nightingale sang about the quiet churchyard where white roses grow, where fragrant elderberry trees are, and where the grass is green from the tears of those who come to mourn. Death longed so much for his garden that he flew out the window like a white, cold mist. Thank you," whispered the emperor. "You heavenly little bird, I remember you. You have I banished from my empire, and yet you came to sing for me. And when you sang, the evil phantoms that taunted me disappeared, and Death himself left my heart. How shall I reward you?" "You have rewarded me already," said the nightingale. "I shall never forget that the first time I sang for you, you gave me the tears from your eyes, and to a poet's heart, those are jewels. But sleep, so you can become well and strong. I shall sing for you." The little gray bird sang, and the emperor slept so blessedly, so peacefully. The sun was shining in through the window when he woke. He did not feel ill anymore. None of his servants had come, for they thought that he was already dead. But the nightingale was still there, and he was singing. "You must come always," declared the emperor. "I shall only ask you to sing when you want to. And the mechanical bird I shall break in 1,000 pieces." "Don't do that," replied the nightingale.
The mechanical bird sang as well as it could. Keep it. I can't build my nest in the palace. Let me come to visit you when I want to, and I shall sit on the branch outside your window and sing for you, and my song shall make you happy and make you thoughtful. I shall sing not only of those who are happy, but also of those who suffer. I shall sing of the good and of the evil that happen around you, and yet are hidden from you, for a little songbird flies far. I visit the poor fisherman's cottage and the peasant's hut, far away from your palace and your court. I love your heart more than your crown, and yet I feel that the crown has a fragrance of something holy about it. I will come. I will sing for you. Only one thing must you promise me. I will promise you anything, said the emperor, who had dressed himself in his imperial clothes and was holding his golden saber, pressing it against his heart. I beg of you, never tell anyone that you have a little bird that tells you everything, for then you will fare even better. And with those words, the nightingale flew away. The servants entered the room to look at their dead master. There they stood gaping when the emperor said, "Good morning." Well, thanks. Thanks for listening.